I'll call her next.
How's everybody doing? I only have 1 minute, so I'm going to go as fast as I can. Right as I walked into council today, I was actually called by a Houston police officer who let me know that in the past 6 months, they haven't been able to do anything about the drug house next to my house. Now, I had spoken to you guys prior stating that no one showed up on my last burglary in progress call with HPD. But he used some words. He said that there's a process and a procedure to these kinds of things. That process and procedure just happens to be not protecting myself or my family. Now, I'm stating this because the same words have been used about the process and procedure of permitting. And it just so happens that right now that process and procedure is we're going to hold up Sean's project and dangle his livelihood in front of his head or over his head, possibly out of reach. Who knows? You know, there is absolutely no liability that this city has, to an extent, if they fail me indefinitely, which has happened on a project. I failed structural 6 times. I had 4 different engineers who wrote a letter on that 6th time. Still failed structural. It took 7 times to get it through.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Did you finish your point?
I don't know if it's possible to convey the point that right now the city of Houston has a permitting center with ultimate authority, regardless of safety, quality, all those things, and no liability. And with that power, they can force me out of business, which at this point today I've made the choice. I will never step foot inside the city of Houston's permitting center ever again.
And what are you saying? What did they do or did not do?
Which time? Honestly, right now, I have a set of plans that's in permitting. It's been in there for 6 months. I've sat down 11 or 12 different meetings.
Okay.
So inconsistent the plan review is that we are now changing things back to the original format that we had it after changing it upon request from various members inside of your permitting center. This is for Public Works and Engineering this time, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen across all of your different agencies in every department.
Well, let's not focus on every. Let's just focus on your particular situation.
Sure.
And you're saying that you met with them 6 months ago, and you dealt with different reviewers. Is that what you're saying?
I am all the way up to Joe. He started yesterday. Hopefully he can resolve it. I don't know.
Well, I'm just trying to understand what the issue is so I can help you out.
The issue is I go in and I speak to Simon Chung. He's the guy that's he's head of wastewater and plan review. This is just one example, right? Simon says, you know, we had a manhole that was going right in front of my property. So my house, if the property's like this, the manhole goes right there and then it runs that way.
And when did you bring this issue to them? Was it 6 months ago?
I would say sometime between 3/12 and 3/27. Seemed like it was, what, three months? Somewhere around there.
Around 6 months ago.
Just as an example. This is just one example. He asked us to move the manhole not from the corner of my property, but to the center. I met with Mike Norowitz, another colleague of his, because Simon no-showed at his meeting on Friday and instead sent Mike. They said Simon wasn't there. I'm not going to say whether he was or he wasn't. Mike suggested, why is that manhole all the way over there? Why wouldn't you put it on the corner of your property? I don't know, Mike. I don't know, because you told me to, and you won't give me the permit.
Fine. Let me pull the file, and let me see when you came in, who you talked to, and what the status is. Then I think we'll be in a better position to determine who's saying what and how we can handle the problem. Okay?
Can I give you just one snippet of advice before I go? Just one snippet. In the United States, and my family's been here since 1740, we were the original settlers in Van Wert County, Ohio. In the United States, we founded this country on an idea of due process and innocence before guilt. When you walk into the permitting and an inspector fails me or a plan reviewer fails me, I have no real due process.
Okay, let's not be so dramatic. Let's just
dramatic. This is $100,000. I'm 27. This is my livelihood.
I want to fix your problem. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm trying to. You said you have an issue. Let's fix your problem. Let's fix your problem.
My problem is that the Houston Permitting Center is unworkable, and after this project, I can't continue because I can't fix it long term.
If you want me to help you, I'll help you. If you
I would love your help, Sylvester. Okay. I'll be here.
Mayor, we don't know each other that well now, okay?
Sorry.
Okay. Councilmember Stardick.
Thank you. Mayor, I just want to. I'm glad you're taking this position. One of the issues that when I came to council was I'd worked with a builder for a number of years, and I consider we were fairly successful, but we still had the same issues. You'd get one, inspector or one person coming from the department, and then another one would come out, and you didn't have that consistency. I really believed that we had changed that process.
And I thought we had. That's why I wanted.
Yeah, that we had someone that carried it all the way through, or there was a shared drive of some sort, and so that's why I haven't really looked at it any closer than that. So, I would be interested.
I'll let you know. Let everybody know.
Yeah, if we could all know how this plays out, because that's not what we want. We want to, I have Northwest Houston, and we compete with the county all the time, so we don't want to push anyone else out to the county. We've been very fortunate in my district that we've got things are going very well. That's what I can say. So I too want to make sure that we don't go backwards. And I am very, very concerned about your livelihood and that you can do business in the city, and that is a lot of money for anyone, regardless of age, and it should be respected. Your time and your money should be respected, and you should be respected. So thanks again for coming down, and I do appreciate the mayor looking into this. Thank you.
Councilmember Christie.
Did I hear at the beginning trying to get rid of the drug house? Does this seem like retribution for asking for that? Is that what you were saying at all?
No, I was just juxtaposing. I was trying to say, my family and we're not really safe in that neighborhood. I carry a gun with me everywhere I go.
Any objection to?
And I have to do that because HPD refuses to respond. I mean, it just flat out, they didn't respond.
So it sounds like some legitimate complaints. So just work with the mayor's offer there, because there seems to be some log jams that somebody higher up like that can undo those. So keep us posted on how that goes.
Okay, Councilmember Laster.
Thank you, Mayor, for your offer of your assistance in your administration and your office to help Mr. Krieger work out these kinks. And I know you've talked to me today about it, and I'm concerned about, and I'm sure council members are always concerned, because we get calls like this all the time from our constituents that have challenges in the permitting system, and sometimes they get diametrically opposed instructions. And they get a little frustrated by that. I think I understood from a conversation with you a moment ago that you have already reached out to the newest director there, and I think that you've made a contact with them. So continue to work directly with them. I'm sure the mayor's office is going to do their very best to assist you, and if we can be assistance to you, let us know. And I'm sure we'll get it worked out.
Thank you, Mr. Lester.
Councilmember Borkins.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Krieger, good to see you again, sir. Where, what part of town you say you live in?
45 and Scott. That's your district.
45 and Scott, where you have to carry your gun around? Okay. Let me just say, I think it's unfair to criticize the permitting center based on the experience that you have. We have others that have gone through, and it's been flawless. And they have a process that we expect everybody to follow. You cannot bring your rules to the table and expect them to change the game because you want them, Mr. Krieger. And I know what I'm talking about. And so for you to come down here and to give one side of the story, I can assure you if somebody from the permitting center was speaking behind you, they would clarify the issues of what you're putting in front of them and how you're disrespectful to the people down there. And I've seen you do it. And
you've seen me do it.
Towards me. And I know you've done it in the past. And that's just your aggressive approach. So what I'm saying is Chris Butler is the new director. He's very responsive to the request that comes his way. Be respectful. That's all I'm asking you. And make certain if they say no, the answer is no. If it's yes, they will work with you. But to come down here and make it seem like the permitting center is against you and your projects, Mr. Krieger, is not true.
Pause
and
for
I think
a second.
you need to be fair and honest about it.
I appreciate what you said, but realize if the answer is no, that's my livelihood, gentlemen. Thanks, everyone.
But, Ms. Krieger, you have to follow the city rules. That's all I say.
110%
Okay.
every time, above board.
All right,
Every time.
We'll take a look
No
at
question.
it. Let's take a look at it. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, we were informed that Sherry Browning is now present.
Ms. Browning?